Hey guys. So I thought I'd just do this in a video instead of in person, just in case somebody's not in person one day, or so that you have this to refer back to, because it's really useful information and it could be on an exam. But more importantly than that, it's just moving forward. If you have any interest in playing music in the future after this term, this course, this information I'm going to talk about here is super useful in applying it to learning songs and playing music in general. Okay, so we've learned the C major scale. And we've talked about how you can play chords. Well, we've learned some chords and how they're taken from the scale. So if I play the first note of the scale, and I build a triad or a chord from that first note of the C major scale, which is C, and I just go up, I skip a tone, so I skip D and I go to E and I go to G, and I take this shape of one note, skip one, go to the next one, skip a note, go to the next one. All right, that's a C major. It's the first note of the scale. C major. If I were to go to the fourth note of the scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I build a chord off of that note, the fourth note, the F. It's an F major. We can also think of it as the 4 chord in the key of C major. 1, 4, or C to F. F, 1, 4. I can change the notes in this chord. Change the order around, like I could put the C on top. I still have, instead of C, E, G, I have E, G, and C. And if I go to the F chord, back to C. Some people think of this as like the Amen progression, F to C. You go from 4 to 1. The 5 chord, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, built off of the 5th note of the scale, is a G major. And sometimes we add a 7th in there, so we call it G7. Stacking the chord to an extra note. I'm still going up where I'm skipping. It's called thirds. G to B, to D, and to an F. I could put the F down here. I could play it up here. I could play it in different forms, but it's still G7 to C. You hear that sometimes at the end of like a classical song, for example. Okay, so 1, 4, and 5 chords. C major, 1, 4, 5, 1. This is the basis of a lot of songs, the blues, country music, pop music, even classical. These are like your primary colors, your primary chords. The 1, 4, and 5 chords are the major chords in any key. So there's a 1, 4, 5, 4. 1, 4, 5, 4. 1, 4, 5. We've also learned the A minor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And when I build that chord, that's not one of the primary chords. 1, 4, and 5 are major. The chord that's built off of the 6th note of the scale is a minor chord. So if we have C major, we can go C, B, A, and just walk down to A minor. That's the 6th chord, the minor. So I'll go to a G chord, and I step up to the 6th chord, which is A minor, and back to F, C, or 1, 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4. Those are easily the most common chords in any song, often. Any chord progression. It's not like it's in every single song. It's actually extremely overused. But once we understand that, we can build chords off that once we understand that we can make chords and put chords together based on a scale, it opens up a whole lot of new opportunities, and it allows you to look at songs and analyze them in a deeper way than just thinking, I play this chord now and I put my fingers here, and then I switch to this chord and I put my fingers here. Those are the beginning basics that you learn, but once you want to go deeper with a deeper understanding where you can start to see patterns and apply the patterns and see these connections and make it across different songs and playing in different keys based off of different scales. I believe that you don't have to be an advanced musician to start to learn these things. You can learn them right from the beginning. So 1, 5, 6, 4. We could do that in a different order. Any order. So those 4 chords, they might be in different orders. That's another good point to make, is that it doesn't have to be in that order. It could be 1, 4, 6, 5. 1, 4, 6, 5. 1, 4, 6, 5. It could be 1, 6, 4, 5. That's think of old pop from like the 50s. A lot of it was based around that chord progression. 1, 6, 4, 5. 1, 6, 4, 5. With some movement maybe in the bass and some melody obviously on top of that. Now, okay, so when you get that, if you can apply that once you start to learn to play songs in other keys. Now, you do need to start to learn about sharps and flats, but if we go to the next key after C that we typically learn is G major. If I play 8 notes starting on G and I go up to a higher G, A, B, C, D, E, I have an F sharp. So an F, and I raise it to the black key above. 1, and I'm still thinking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's still a major scale, just like the C major scale. We're starting on a different note, but the relationship between the first note and the second note, and the third and the fourth, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, it's the same relationship. We have the same pattern of the way the notes fit together. We've just moved it to a different place on the piano or on whatever instrument we're playing. We're starting on a different note, but the relationship between each note, the pattern and the connection is still the same. We just have to adjust it. So in G major, we have 1 sharp. So when we get to F, it has to go up a semitone to the black key, higher. Now I can still play bass. Now if G is 1, and I want to go to the 4, I go 1, 2, 3, 4, which is a C chord. And so in the key of G major, 1, 4, 5 is D, 6 would be E, and remember what I said, the 1, 4, and 5 are major. So G, C, D, 1, 4, 5. 1, 4, 5, and 6 is minor, the 6th chord, which is E minor. So I'll play that 1, 5, 6, 4 chord progression that I played earlier in the key of G. So 1, 5, 6, 4, 1. I go up to the 5th note, and I 6 minor and the 4. So we're just taking the notes of the scale, and one here would be the 2. Based off the 2nd note, the 3rd note. Now there's an F in this chord. And remember, F is sharp in the key of G major. So anytime I come across an F, it's going to be sharp. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's an F sharp in that D major chord. 6, 7, and back on a higher G now. Let's go to 4, 6, 5. Just to demonstrate, I'll do it in another key. Let's do it in F major. F major has 1 flat. It's the first key that, if you're going in order from the one that has only 1 flat, F major is that scale. And it has a B flat. So when a note is flat, it's lowered. So F, G, A, and a B flat. So if I find B, I go down to the black key. I go to the left. The point of this is not for you to learn these scales necessarily. It's to try and see connections and patterns. So I can play a scale starting on F up to F. It's a major scale that I'm playing, and it has the same relationship and connections between the notes and the pattern as the C major scale or the G major scale. So starting on F. And I'll play a 1. I could build a chord off of any note in the scale. There's 2, 3, 4, has B flat. 5, 6 minor, 7, which is a diminished chord, and F. Let me do that again. So 1, 2 is a G, B flat, D. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, back on 1. Let's do a 1, 5, 6, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to play a 1, 5, 6, 4 chord progression in F, in C, and in G. So starting in F. 3, 4, 1, 5, 6. I'll do it one more time. 1, 5, 6, 4. Now I'm going to go to C. 1, 5, 6. 4. Hear that pattern, the movement of the chords, and how once your ear adjusts to the new key that you're in, you can hear that it's the same pattern. I'm going to stop there, but there's lots more we could talk about. Actually, I'll make one more point. So when we're learning, say, Santa Claus is coming to town, and we're going from G to C. So we're in the key of G major. G is our 1 chord. And then we go up to a C chord, which is the 4. 1, 4. So it's just that first part of the song is just 1 to 4, or G to C. So still the same chords. And then we do this turnaround. The 5 chord really nicely wants to bring you back 5, 1. So we have a 1, 6, 2, 5. G, E minor, A minor. I'm just thinking of the bass note, the lowest note of the chord, and I'm thinking of the notes of the scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 1. 1, E goes from G to E minor. So even if you go down, E is still the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's the sixth note of the scale. So 1, 6, 2, 5, 1. So we go Santa Claus is coming down. Do that again. 6, 2, 5, 1. Okay? So hopefully that helps make some new connections for you, and you can start thinking in terms of seeing how the chords are connected, and that's what we're going to be doing this a bit more during this term, is like looking for patterns and connections.